The Talmud teaches us that pilgrims traveling to Jerusalem with bikurim, gifts of their first fruits, would be celebrated and heralded along the way with great fanfare and parades. By contrast, wealthy pilgrims bringing their maser, their tithe, the 10% of their worldly goods, would not be celebrated in this grand way. Why was it that the wealthy person bringing wagon loads of gifts to the temple would be taken for granted, but the young men with their first fruits would get not such a great honor? The answer is simple and beautiful. The pilgrim with the truckloads of produce was giving up 10% of his wealth, but he was keeping the first 90% for himself. By contrast, the young man with the gift of bikurim was giving away his very first fruits. He was just embarking on life's journey, yet already he was thinking of others long before there was ever 90% sitting safely in the bank. Tonight, Colel Chabad is proud to bestow its Young Leadership Award on some outstanding young people who represent this tradition of bikurim, of giving from the very beginning, of connecting their lives and their careers to the very idea of tzedakah and chesed. Which is why it is my special privilege now to call upon Oren Alexander, Casey Klein, and Aaron and Ilana Wallenstein, all true young leaders. Today we honor them for their bikurim, for the gift of their early fruits, but we know that we will be seeing and hearing much from them in the years and decades ahead as they grow into giants of tzedakah and serve as an inspiration for others who will surely follow in their footsteps.
Thank you, Arthur, for the very kind words and the kind introduction. And I do take it upon my responsibility to carry on the tradition that my mentors, Russell Galbert, Sonny Kahn, and Bruce Menon, who's here with us tonight, have instilled, who have instilled in me as a young leader of the organization, but also the core values of Crescent Heights, the true meaning of tzedakah. And that's why we're here to work with Rabbi Duchman and all of Colel Chabad. You have heard all the wonderful things that Colel does, the seders, the medical services, the food for the poor, and this has been essential aid for Israelis for so many years. Finally, I just want to thank my family and friends for being here tonight, especially my grandmother, who came very far from the warm weather in Florida to the cold New York, so thank you, Grandma. And lastly, to congratulate my fellow honorees, the Blavatnik family, Oren, the Wallensteins, and I urge everyone in this room to continue the steadfast support for this special organization and all the wonderful mitzvot it does. Thank you.
Good evening. I want to start by thanking my parents who are here tonight for introducing me to Chabad from the day I was born, by introducing me to my spiritual father, Rabbi Shalom Lipsker. Thank you to the rest of my family, friends, and guests. And I want to especially thank Alex and Len and the rest of the honorees for their generous contributions and for setting the bar high, which has given me goals to strive and reach for. What I've realized is I'm not going to reach these goals by doing another deal or in the case of these honorees, a lot more deals, but rather by not taking anything. Actually the opposite, by giving back. As I grew up, I began to understand more the importance and need to give. Without giving, I found whether it's my family, my home, my business, or my country, nothing can flourish. According to Jewish tradition, the spiritual benefit of giving charity so great that one who gives benefits even more than the recipient. There's no single organization that I've ever come across that understands the need to give more than Chabad. I cannot thank this organization enough for giving me the opportunity to comprehend the importance of charity and allow me to pass my experience along to you with great hopes and strong promise that your involvement and experience with Chabad will be as meaningful as mine. Thank you, everyone.
I have good news for everybody. It seems as if I just got word from the higher-uppers of Colel Chabad that they were not happy with the length of time of the speeches, and they've asked me to speak double time, so you're all in for a treat. Distinguished rabbis, fellow honorees, Colel Chabad supporters, family and friends, first and foremost, on behalf of Ilana, I would like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for coming out tonight to celebrate this wonderful organization, Colel Chabad, that does so much good for so many people. Tonight is the climax of another year of hard work and dedication by those people behind the scenes who make Colel Chabad the success that it is today. I would like to acknowledge and thank all of our new friends from Great Neck who are here to support us in Colel Chabad. A special acknowledgement and thank you to Rabbi Polyakov and Rabbi Lichter from the Great Neck Synagogue who came here tonight in support. We appreciate the effort and are glad that you have been welcoming and supportive in our recent move to Great Neck. I would like to acknowledge and thank all of our close and dear friends from Manhattan and Englewood and all the other locations who were able to come tonight to support us and this great organization. Your efforts in coming on a Sunday night before the work week with so many responsibilities in dealing with your children and other important things to do not go unnoticed. I guess it's a good thing the Jets and the Giants did not make the playoffs. We would like to acknowledge and thank all of our family members who've come tonight as well. Ilana's sister and parents, we thank you for all you've done and for coming. My sister and some of my relatives, my aunts and uncles, we certainly appreciate the effort and realize that there are many other things to do on a Sunday night, so thank you for coming. A special thank you to my parents for surprising us in shortening their vacation from Miami and flying in today for the dinner to support us. We had no idea that you were coming and want you to know that we appreciate that you cared enough to be here. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to answer a question that many of you posed to me after you found out that Colel Chabad had chosen us as one of its honorees at the dinner this year. Many of you had come up to me and told me that you didn't realize I was so involved in Colel Chabad and asked me how I got started in my involvement in Colel Chabad. For those of you who are interested, here is my story. It was around 9 years ago. I had just left my position as a district attorney in the office to start my own law practice, centering on criminal defense. Like many people who take on the task of starting your own business, my challenge was to find clients who could pay me for the service that I could provide. I was renting a small office space from a friend of mine's brother, who was a lawyer as well, who had a partner working in the suite. There were other attorneys in the suite who were renting space, and other paralegals, secretaries, and office staff. Then, one Thursday afternoon in the offices, my fortunes would change. In walked in this rabbi to the suite with a hat and a long beard. The attorneys in the office took him into the conference room where I could see they were in heavy discussions. A little later, one of the attorneys came to my office with the rabbi, knocked on my door, and said to me in a serious tone, "The rabbi needs to speak to you." I said, "Rabbi, come sit down, talk to me. What is the problem? In my years as a DA, now a defense lawyer, I've heard it all. What is it? Drugs, DWI, fraud? Let me know so I can help you." The rabbi said to me, "No, that's not why I'm here. I'm here because I have a special project that I want to involve you in. You see, I work for an organization called Colel Chabad, and we at this organization are starting a new soup kitchen in Israel, and I want you to be my bread man, meaning I want you to give a donation in support of the bread that we need for the soup kitchen." I said, "Rabbi, I think you have it wrong. You see, I'm not like the other guys, the well-established lawyers in the suite. I'm just starting out and struggling to find business. I don't think I could be your bread guy." The rabbi turned to me and said, "No, I think you have it wrong. You see, it doesn't work that way. God is a smart businessman as well, and he only invests in those who are good investments for him. You need to show God that you are a good investment, and he will provide you with the parnasa, because he will see that you know what you are doing, and that the funds that and that you know what you're doing with the funds that he's entrusting in with you." In essence, the rabbi was challenging me to challenge God. Would I step up and show I wanted to be a player for God to invest in? Realizing that it was really a no-lose situation, as worst-case scenario, I would be giving a little tzedakah, and being from a home where I learned the importance of giving charity, I proceeded to write the rabbi a small check to be one of his bread men, maybe more of a crumb guy. I thanked the rabbi for his little talk, and I wished him well. Soon after this meeting, I began to see some results, as some of the advertising I had been investing in yielded some clients and a little bit of parnasa. The rabbi came back into the suite a few weeks later, and I joined him with the other attorneys in the conference room for a little learning, a little Musar shmooze, and a few l'chaims. The rabbi turned to me and said, "So, can I count on you for a donation again?" I said, "Rabbi, you sure can. Coincidence or not, after I saw you the last time, my business has picked up somewhat. I don't want to mess with any karma. Let me write you another check." I proceeded to write him another check in the same amount. The rabbi looked at me, gave the check back to me, and said, "Aaron, this is not good enough for you. You see, you are capable of doing more. You can make your cup for parnasa as big or as small as you want it to be." And again, the rabbi was challenging me to challenge God. This began my relationship with Colel Chabad and with Rabbi Kazriel Sudak of Colel Chabad, who I now consider a friend, a chavrusa, somewhat of a posek, and important parts in my life and my family's lives. But I would be a fool to invest in a charity that I didn't know anything about. The Torah teaches us the importance of not only giving tzedakah, but even more important, giving tzedakah to a place that we know will use it wisely. So I began to ask questions about this Colel Chabad and what was it all about. Where was my donations going, and what is this good and is this a good halachic investment? And the answer you will hear if you ask anyone from Colel Chabad as to demonstrating what this organization is about and what it does is always the same. Just come to the dinner. I also began to see and realize that many of my friends and associates were just like me, closet Chabadniks who gave a lot of their resources to Colel Chabad. So I attended my first dinner and was floored by what I saw. Graphs and pie charts of revenues coming in, charts of how it was dispersed. This place was run better than most private businesses. I was comforted in seeing that my money was being maximized to doing good for people that needed it, with very little waste, if any, that we sometimes hear from other charitable organizations. For those of you who are here for the dinner that have been here before, good to see you. I hope to see you here next year in good health. For those of you who are here for the first time, look around the room and take advantage of the resources. Just like any other business networking dinner, seek out some of the shiluchim, like Rabbi Kazriel Sudak and some of the other backroom people involved in Colel Chabad. Don't be afraid to get involved and invest yourself. We don't know for how long God will bless us with the means to make a contribution. More importantly, don't be afraid to challenge yourself, to challenge God. Thank you and enjoy.
Okay, I guess the bad news is everybody on the dais asked me to skip my speech, so everybody enjoy dinner.